Yeah, it's a very extensive and a comprehensive report with a lot of information, as you could see. This is he only gleaned through it, and of course there's so much more and very much interesting information to see. The graphs are also very interesting. Some of them are a little bit complicated, as you see. It's really very difficult to understand at first glance what it is, but still, if you want to look at it, it's really very interesting information that you get. 2 years before the next election, normally speaking, it's of course very interesting material, and also material that can guide us how to improve the system even better, so that the next elections will be even better. Of course, the voters list, as was said, it's still maybe, I would not say inaccurate, but if you say here 700,000 people do not live here or are dead, what do you do with these people? Are they allowed to vote or not? Or should they be cleansed from the list totally? Because you have, of course, a big problem with these people who do not live here or maybe are dead, and it's of course even worse, that they might be misused, their votes. So it's, I mean, it's one of the things that people still have to think about. I think at the moment, you know, it was one of the conditions, I think 2 years ago, that there should be electoral reform here, but by the EU, but actually nothing has happened. They have only talked about it, but the real electoral reform did not take place. So we're still waiting for that, and maybe also based on what we have seen here, maybe we get some good ideas. For me, the most interesting thing still, what you have seen, it was of course indicated, but if you read the report better, you will see more, is the fact that although in Parliament now we have 30% of parliamentarians are women, still the participation of women in the whole political process is really low. Also the amount of women voters is very low, especially from housewives and let's say less educated people, is very low. So the target, actually, if you want to increase the political credibility of the political process, should be targeted much more on women. And also here, with due respect, there are many more men than women. So it's again maybe an indication. Of course, the women should of course be more involved, much more involved than at the moment is the case, because not only as participants in the political process, but especially as voters, to see that they also have the right and that they should also go. I'm not talking so much about family voting, because then it means you still go, but you vote what your husband tells you, but more that you go yourself. I mean, the women go yourself. I mean, not with the husband, go yourself and go because you want to go. This is, of course, also part of the education process that should be done much more. Then a few remarks on the whole thing. Actually, if you see the amount of people who are members of the political parties, it seems to be very low, but I'll tell you it's much higher than in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands is really low. People who are members of parties, the biggest party as far as members is concerned is the Christian Democratic Party, and they have less than 60,000 members, which means for one seat in our parliament you need 75,000, so it's less than one seat in the parliament of 150. So it's really, and that is then the biggest party, and all the rest they come, not in votes, but in members. Again, probably also the same reason here, the stability. Older people are more stable, so many, of course, in the Christian Democratic Party are older people, so they are more stable, they stay much more. The second party is indeed the Socialist Party also, because of the tradition, although they are not such big parties anymore, still people are there. But still, it's a very worrisome trend also with us, so don't say that actually you are better than us in this field. The other thing what was still interesting to see, what you said about voting on the same day, of course, maybe less relevant, but what you said about maybe they were cheating, that maybe only they voted for the amount of people voted for the council is the real amount and the rest might be cheated. But you could also, because as I'm, have very close links with Sweden, in Sweden you have always once every 4 years you have the elections, and it's for the municipalities, for the parliament and for the provinces at the same time. So you could also see, actually you could compare, because I don't know the result, to see if indeed people
Is there stealing too?
Yeah, no, maybe not stealing, no, but maybe it could very well be that I think I'm only interested in parliament, because that's the only thing that counts. I'm not interested in the municipality. Could be, that I don't know, that you could, at least in that country you can compare, because we never have elections on the same day, so in our case you cannot compare it. But I thought this is a way also to get some more ideas. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much more, because we get another speaker here. But I think it's very interesting once more. We can learn a lot about it, but you need to do a lot of studying, and I hope it will also be distributed and will get also more attention than this small group that we have here. So try to see that people really learn from it. But as I said, the most important thing is, what I learned from it at least, is that a very limited amount of women who are really interested seemingly in politics, and we really have to see that they are. And the other thing is that the trust in the politics is diminishing, and also the youngsters should also be not only go to, because now the turnout is of course quite low as compared to the other ones in the other place, but it's probably because it's very hot and it's very nice weather and so on and so on and so on. But still, young people should also be involved much more, because they should not be involved in, you know what I'm referring to. This is politics, is what made in my life. When I was young, I was also very active in politics, and I always went to groups, to youth groups, and they said, you have to become a member of the party. No, I'm not interested in politics. And I always say, listen, maybe you're not interested in politics, but politics is interesting in you. They will decide what you're going to do, and if you want to do anything, you have to be involved. Then you can change things and you can do something, but don't let it come over you and then start complaining and complaining. You have to do something all the time. People, you're responsible for your own future. If you think you have a very bad government, it's your own fault, because why do you let them go? We are a democratic process. The democratic process is be involved, do something, don't criticize only, but do something in this case to change things.